Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. Happy Sunday. It's time for another Speed Duel Spotlight. This will we continue the weekend content moving forward. And I really wanted to get back to talking about Dark Renewal. Now, I've used this a couple of times, and the last time we used it was literally yesterday. We built this deck, and the whole point was what is the best deck you can make using only 3 boxes of the Streets of Battle City. And this trap came in super clutch for multiple reasons. So just first off, let's talk about what it does. When the opponent normal or special summons a monster or monsters, target one of those monsters plus one spellcaster that you control. Send both cards to the graveyard, and then you can special summon one dark spellcaster from your deck or graveyard. So, just real quick. Obviously, if you were a big fan of the anime like I was, you maybe chose not to read your Yu-Gi-Oh cards and realize that nowhere on this does it say it's just for the iconic Dark Magician. But this is how you're going to see Arcana use this, and I can see why. And if you are a Dark Magician duelist, this trap card is going to get a lot of mileage out of you as long as you stick to a good spellcaster theme. And a lot of the best spellcasters honestly are dark attributes. Does it have anything to do with Dark Magician? Maybe. Or does it just have to do with the fact that that's just the way it is? I don't know. But we can obviously use it for Dark Magician. But it says that we contribute any spellcaster we have. So let's talk about a small engine that's very common with spellcaster players. First is the Apprentice Magician. Apprentice Magician's a good card, great card. Normally, if it's summoned, you can target a face-up card that can hold a spell counter. He can hand off that spell counter to a card. If he's destroyed by battle, and this is the reason we tend to use him, we can go ahead and special summon another level 2 or lower spellcaster from the deck. And this is the important part. You ready? In face-down defense position. Like, honestly, there's a whole thing that we could talk about him, and in the future we probably will. And he leads off to 2 very, very important choices. The first is an original card. Like, I'm talking the beginning of the game. And I don't mean the beginning of Speed Duel, I mean the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! We're talking about the Magician of Faith. All she is, simple card, 300 by 400, 1 star, little spellcaster flip. And all she does is say, flip, target a spell in your graveyard, put it back in your hand. So again, when the game was all brand new and super magical, Pot of Greed was like a 3, which with the Magician of Faith was like having it a 4, unless you played 3 Magicians of Faith, at which point it was like 6. And then you're drawing 12. It's kind of goofy, right? And so Magician of Faith was good for a long time. Magician of Faith, I think, did a little bit of time on the ban list, but eventually came back. Good card, great card. And due to the Apprentice Magician, the Magician of Faith comes into play face down, ready to use the flip effect. Same with the Old Vindictive Magician. Now, I want to say that Old Vindictive and Apprentice, I want to say they both came out around Magician's Force time period. I would almost bet my entire collection Apprentice Mage did. Not as sure on the Old Vindictive, so don't get my shinies yet. And again, it's another nice little flip effect. It's not too strong, 450 by 6. And what's going to happen here is when it does flip, target a monster the opponent controls and destroy that target. Now, as a semi-competitive player from time to time, I like to pair this effect off with other things like the spell card creature swap. If my opponent has 2 or more monsters, I like to destroy the less desirable one. This guy's going to be very vulnerable. He's very small. He's only 450 points. So if we go ahead, we toss that over to the opponent's side, great. I will go ahead and I'll just take care of your monster by letting him over to my own side of the field and allowing him to manhandle my Old Vindictive Magician. Effectively, usually, clearing the field. Now, in Speed Duel, well, you can do this. Another thing you might do is just leave him face up. Let one of your other taller or stronger spellcasters handle the work. And then your opponent sees this as a glaring weakness. They're going to summon. you hit the Dark Renewal, and then you got somebody like Dark Magician out. Literally, you attributed your Vindictive Magician, your opponent's monster card, and in the best magic trick, you played the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. And this is true of any dark spellcaster. So, in all essence, you could play back the old Vindictive Magician, or the Apprentice Magician that summoned him, or Breaker the Magical Warrior, or in the case of yesterday's deck, we were using the Magical Marionette. Now, you can substitute Magical Marionette if you were the duelist I made the Dark Magician Girl deck for. Because at that point, Dark Magician Girl was also a dark spellcaster, and so was also a very valid target for a card I just did not fully understand, did not fully read. For some reason, in my head, anime rules were more important than what the actual physical IRL card said. And for that, I deserve a little tap on the hands, But the Magical Marionette was a great use for us. We were going ahead, we were using a little bit of spell counters, we were using ultimate wizardry, and due to such, dark spellcaster, beautiful. We had the Allures of Darkness, everything was going great, and we were able to get this card that, well, as it stockpiles is the word I'm looking for. The spell counters. Not only does it grow in strength, but it also grows in its ability to destroy our opponent's monster cards, which I think is actually the point here. So again, this is very good. And again, during that deck, we were using Breaker, and obviously Breaker is going to be something your opponent's going to want to target and try to get out of the way very quickly. As such, Dark Renewal, once Breaker has broken something, we can go ahead and we can attack with the Breaker, whatever we got to do. During our opponent's turn, they play something to trump him. Same thing we would have done if it was old Vindictive Magician. We hit the Dark Renewal. We take the Breaker, we go into something bigger and badder and probably stronger. Because again, it doesn't actually give us an upper limit. All it says, it has to be a dark attribute spellcaster type. So on the lookout in the future for even bigger, badder dark spellcasters. We may get something along the lines of a bigger card. We may not. But it is something to keep an eye out for. And one more interesting interaction, because I like to give you guys so many interactions with the card. And again, this did come up yesterday's deck as well. Chowside, the Ghost Stopper. So normally, well, this guy's boarded. He just says neither player can activate the effects of spell traps in the graveyard, blah, 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 blah. If he is sent from the field to the graveyard. Now, this could be as a tribute for a summon. This could be he got destroyed in battle. This could be we use Dark Renewal. We could offer him for the effect of something else. Insert something here. Somebody. Like, let's just use an old quick play like Mystic Walk, or the trap card Alter for Tribute, where we offer a monster or send it to the graveyard to gain hit points. You could do that with the Chowsai as well. And what's going to happen is we can then combo the effect to target a spell trap in the opponent's graveyard and banish it. And this could allow us to disarm things a lot like Lost Wind, Machine Angel Ritual, and a couple of other spell traps that will also similarly have effects while they're in the discard pile. So again, Dark Renewal, great card, easy to use, especially if you bother to read it. And again, there's plenty of dark spellcasters just waiting to just have a great deck built around them and use this to just really just kind of, this is like a giant, I don't even know, this is like a slap to the opponent's face. Like, they summon a monster. And I love this. I love talking about Dragon Caller because, again, you got the errata, you got the reprints in the tournament pack. If you go to play Dragon Caller and you summon the Lord of Dragons, the Lord of D, this is just real quick me going, yeah, well, whatever, Dark Renewal. You're never going to get the chance to play your Flute of Summoning. That was your summon for the turn. Like, this is speed duel. We don't have 15 things. Well, I mean, we got a couple that special summon now. You do have things like, I guess, Cyber Dragon that are out there. You do have some special summons that can occur. But generally speaking, Dark Renewal will just go ahead and toss a strategy like that and just not even care. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. Hope that you guys get around to playing some Dark Renewals. Obviously, if you bought the box Streets of Battle City, you guys do have copies of these now. So get out there, play them, enjoy them, and I hope to see you guys on the next one, all right? So, later.